Oh boy. Yeah, so came back to straight up carnage. I was gone for 10 days. Family emergency. Had to be out of town. I had my dad, look over the tank and just kind of feed him, which is fine, like feeding him and whatnot. I prepped the tank and whatnot. You can't really fault him for any of the stuff. So we have a dead yellow tang. Unfortunately, it looks like they were beating him up. So that happened, and then down here, I don't know what the heck happened down here, but look at this. Obviously the algae is not what I'm concerned about, but it's the water level in terms of the sump. Like, I have it here to turn on, and it's like this much more water than what it is. So I don't know if my dad was adding directly water into here when I told him to fill it up or like into there. I specifically told him to top it off there, but yeah, so we have that. The mushrooms love it because the mushrooms are completely opened up over there. The Colorado sunburst over here, the struggling one is still struggling, the new one is struggling. So I know the water parameters in this is not going to be correct just because we have this much additional water in here. So I'm gonna have to do a water change, remove some of the stuff, but everything else looks like still doing fine. The fish in here are fine, right? So here's the carnage. Here's the sad carnage part. While I was gone, obviously we have to have, this stuff temporary outside. I couldn't really move things out. We have all the Colorado sunburst bleach. And, obviously it's not my dad's fault because he doesn't know what's going on out here, but same thing up here, all bleach just because it's so hot. I mean, it was like over 100 plus over here. And the garage wasn't open, So, yeah, so that happened. So we need to figure out how to save those guys. And the bleaching part is, one thing, it takes time for them to recover. It just sucks that it's going to all of them bleach. It looks like one of them back there looks like it's kind of semi not bleached. All these guys bleach. That sucks. So, and I only see 2 clownfish, which I'm kind of concerned about because there should be a third guy in here somewhere. Maybe he got too hot and he got killed. Oh boy. All right. Well, anyways, we got to deal with this. Do a huge water change outside, fix the parameters, and then slowly move all these guys in there. That's the plan. All right, so here's the NEMS, super bleach, as you can see. The temperature outside was, at least in the tank, outside was a lot hotter, plus probably over 100. Temperature was 91. This is what happens when your tank is 91 in the garage. So the plan is we're going to temperature acclimate them for a couple hours, bring the temperature down to like, around 80-ish is the plan. And then we're going to put them into the tank inside, but I gotta prep the tank and do a huge water change. So I removed the yellow tang. Down here we had a dead snail, so it was kind of just like fouling the water on top of that. We're going to move this basket, correct it a little bit. The guards for the gyres came in, so I'm going to throw the guards in, and we're going to put some of these NEMS onto the display tank, and hopefully they'll recover there. And then we'll keep a couple of them down here in the sump just to see if they will recover. The one I had earlier would have done well if we didn't add in this much amount of water, of RO water. So this salinity is probably off, and that's why this guy's kind of like dying. So yeah, we need to do a huge water change. Oh boy, now if it couldn't get any worse. So 2 days after I came back, did the water change, initial water change. I was planning to do another water change because I was expecting some livestock, because I was thinking that this tank was going to be pristine, ready to go. Anyways, it's not. So moved the anemones in, and 2 of the NEMS decided to get caught in the guard. The guard was there, as you can see. There's like some bits here. Some of the tentacles still got caught up there and got cut up, but a majority, like I would say like 95% or 90% of the NEM was still alive. like, you know, I just had to pull them off of the guard and put them into the basket for now, because I don't think that they're liking the parameters, because everything's kind of whack and wild right now, and they're kind of wanting to move around to figure out a spot in the tank, right? So put those guys in there. The guards did, I guess, save the NEMs, but one of the NEMs also went on under the random flow generator, because there's like tubes or air or vents on the side of the actual nozzles where the water gets pulled in. It was trying to get stuck in there, and I was like, oh god. So I gotta figure out what to do with that. Either they're gonna stay in the basket for a while until they get healthy again and then establish themselves somewhere in the tank, or what I'm thinking is we're going to move them down here and pull the macroalgae and put them in the basket and put them in the corners. I was thinking about that. I probably want to lean more towards that, and that way this whole bottom here would be just the NEMs, and it's lower flow, less, you know, craziness for them. They won't get stuck or sucked up in any other area. I'm gonna do another water change, because as you can see it's cloudy from some of those guys getting stuck there and getting cut up. So they were kind of getting stressed. These two guys decided to stay there, which is great. But yeah, so I need to go ahead and start this water change again. I did kick up some of the sand on the last one, and I'll probably scrape a little bit more here and then kick that up and then do another water change and see if that'll help stabilize the tank. And then, yeah, hopefully these NEMs don't commit suicide again or whatnot. All right, so I just did the water change. I did mainly on this side. In like 2 days, I'll probably focus on this side a little bit more. I brushed off as much of the algae as I could on top of the rocks. As you can see, that's why there's a bunch of debris. We moved macroalgae onto this basket over here. Move some of it in here. We still have the anemones floating around in that basket for now, until I can figure out where I want to put everything, because I'm going to put the shado probably in that basket. Go ahead and move some stuff around here. I put in the filter socks again to kind of filter out all this debris first for a little bit. Once that's filtered out, I'll remove that and put the foam back in there. It looks like the clownfish are like getting together nicely now. I had them separated, but they just went, both of those guys just went over here, and it's okay. I had one big guy, and then these three guys here. We had another one, but unfortunately that one died when I was on vacation. I think it was like too hot outside or something, or maybe they were fighting, because there's 3 of them outside, and unfortunately we lost that guy. So now we're just down with 4 little guys here. You know, this is probably the worst timing, but I had bought some corals during Father's Day, because there was a sale going on, and you know, me thinking the tank's gonna be perfectly ready when I come home, and it's not. I bought some more pods here to put the pods in, and then some corals here. So I'll show you guys the corals once I kind of have them in, but I want to let the tank settle, maybe like another hour or so before opening these guys up. Everything looks fine, so I want to leave them in the bag here, just chill for a little bit. Alright, so after the dip, here is the corals that I got through Top Shelf Aquatics. Mainly Monty is what I was hoping to grow. I was looking at the pictures, I couldn't decide which ones to get, so I got all 3 of them. This is the WWC grafted, this is the TSA nuclear, and then this is the WWC so this is the WWC Sunfire. I got 2 acroporos in the back just to kind of try this out. Unfortunately, this tank isn't, you know, in the best shape, so we might end up losing those guys. But hopefully, I cross my fingers, and we'll see if they are going to make it through with this tank being what it is right now. Again, the parameters are slowly getting back to where I would like them to be, and now it's going to be more of just consistency. Again, I'll probably do another water change 2 days from now. Siphon a lot of these algae out just to kind of keep the algae bloom, the ugly phase, from getting really, really ugly. And then, yeah, we'll just have to maintain the parameters, and hopefully these corals will stand a chance. For the most part, all the livestock from the rack outside has been transferred into this tank. all the mushrooms. The only other two is the pair of clownfish that I have out there that I still want to put in here eventually at some point. I will do that once everything kind of settles in, just because everything in this tank is kind of all over the place right now. Then hopefully the nem here will stay in place and come back in color, because it's just super bleach. Same thing with these guys here. I found this, put these guys here. We have some more macroalgae in that rack back there. So this is going to be temporary until I can get this cleaned up. Also, I went to the local pet store, picked up 2 peppermint shrimp, and then 1 more cleaner shrimp over there. I'm still looking for 2 fire shrimp to go with the tank, just kind of be a little different. And then I think that's it for shrimps. We'll have 2 of each kind of thing, 2, and then 2 more fire shrimp. Fish wise, unfortunately we lost the yellow tang. I think this other tang is going to be okay in terms of, like, you know, cleaning, you know, whatever algae we have in the tank here. So probably skip out on the tang and not go another tang. We'll look into some other livestock once the tank is kind of a little bit more established and figure out what the heck is going on with some of these parameters. Also, I put in the other 2 lights, so we have a full lit tank here. Everything's hopefully going to be a little stable, a little bit better in the next couple weeks here once I have everything in place. But yeah, so these guys down here are looking like they are getting along, kind of. I should just end up moving them up top here, just because there's no point in having them down here if I don't have any nems in here. There's only 1 nem that got shredded, the very first one that got shredded down here. So technically we don't need any fish down here, so I'll just probably end up moving them into here so they have more room to swim. And then we'll get the other pair that's outside and we'll put them down here, because I don't think they're gonna get along, because we have 2 big clownfish, and they'll probably end up fighting each other, and I don't want them to kill each other. Yeah, so this is the tank after being gone for 10 days. Not too shabby. Could have been a lot worse, I would say, but we'll get there. We'll dial this stuff in. If you guys aren't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And like always, awesome guys. Peace.